I don't know. I don't know what it means for us, but it means when that Travis going to Jacksonville. I think they'll play about offense first. Is that crazy? They said they was going to. They believe it. I don't know how they train.
Tracey Edmonds just dropped a bomb. And she didn't even have to say Karrueche Tran-i's name for everyone to know exactly who she was talking about.
We are at the hospital because we are dealing with okay. We are dealing with bladder cancer. And he is having his bladder removed, and they will create a new bladder with one of his intestines. And this option was, I guess, the best because it fully removes the cancer to ensure that it doesn't come back, because it was close to his muscle. So yeah, we are here to fully remove the bladder. Yeah.
Texting the boys. It's their first day of practice today, and I'm excited.
After weeks of whispers that Karrueche and NFL legend Deion Sanders were getting real cozy, Tracey finally broke her silence. And the message she posted wasn't sweet, it was straight up ice cold.
All right, last one, I'm gonna let you go, Coach. Don't kill the messenger. Everyone seen Karrueche by your side during your hospital visit. Everyone wants to know what that friendship is about.
We got a bad connection. I got a bad. I can't.
You gotta go.
I can't back.
Fans say it was a direct hit at the woman who allegedly slid right into her spot, and the way she worded it, absolutely savage. This shady shot didn't come out of nowhere either. It landed just hours after Karrueche and Deion hard launched their relationship, confirming to the world that the rumors were true. But here's the thing. The timing of it all has people clutching their pearls.
Shout out to Coach Prime, man. Coach Prime, man. Clap it up for Coach Prime, man. Coach Prime is wonderful, man. Got a bad connection, baby. Karrueche.
Because according to people close to the situation, Tracey and Deion's breakup wasn't as clean-cut as it looked on Instagram, meaning Karrueche might have jumped in while the door was still wide open.
Somebody better say something.
Listen, I'm good friends with Tracey Edmonds. And I do remember Tracey hearing rumors about Karrueche possibly dating Deion. So she saw her at an event. I think it was Niecy Nash's event. And she, calmly, just in conversation with her, she asked her if she was dating Deion, and she said no. She laughed it off and said no. So, it was kind of like to hear it and to see this now. But look at them too. Like they look very cozy, like they were friends. Like that's Tracey and Karrueche.
Tracey's post was short, golden, and calculated. The kind of shade that slices without a single curse word. You could tell she'd been sitting on this, waiting for the perfect moment to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I can see the picture.
She had stayed quiet for weeks, probably hoping this would all blow over quietly. But after that official couple reveal, it's like she decided, nah, we're not doing the polite thing anymore. And judging by the reactions online, she might just have more tea to spill. Now, if Karrueche really started creeping around with Deion while he was still engaged to Tracey, that's not just messy. That's a full-on betrayal with an extra twist. Because here's the wild part. Tracey and Karrueche weren't strangers. They actually moved in the same Hollywood circles and had been friendly in the past. So if Tracey's shade was indeed aimed at her, then this isn't tea just about a man. It asks about a friend flipping the script, and that makes it way more scandalous. But even before Tracey's post lit the internet on fire, the rumors had already been brewing. The first eyebrow-raising moment came months ago during the NFL draft. Fans swear they spotted Karrueche in the background, standing just a little too close to Deion's inner circle while his son was in the spotlight. And that moment? Oh, it sent the blogs into overdrive. People started asking all the right questions. Was Karrueche there for the son or for the daddy? And why was she even there in the first place? From there, the whispers got louder. Multiple sources claimed Karrueche and Deion were quietly seeing each other, keeping things on the low until the timing was right to go public. Nothing official, nothing confirmed, just enough suspicious sightings to keep the gossip mill turning. But even then, fans weren't buying the innocent, just friends narrative. And let's be real. The age gap didn't exactly make things easier to swallow. Deion is 21 years older than Karrueche, putting her closer in age to his kids than to him. That fact alone had people side-eyeing the whole situation. But now that they've gone public, the timing, the connections, and the history between these women have turned this into a full-blown Hollywood love triangle. And it looks like Tracey is just getting started. When the whispers about Karrueche and Deion first started, it wasn't just about if they were dating. It was about why. The gossip was already bubbling, but when Tracey's shade hit, it added a whole new layer to the drama. Suddenly, fans weren't just talking about a surprising couple. They were questioning whether this relationship was built on something way shadier than anyone originally thought. And then came the moment that officially ended all guessing games. A video of Karrueche went viral, and in just a few seconds, it was clear that she and Deion weren't just casually hanging out. They were definitely locked in together. But here's where the timing turned the whole thing into a plot twist nobody saw coming. Because that video didn't come during some fun red carpet debut or flirty Instagram post, it came during one of the most intense moments of Deion's life. He had just been diagnosed with bladder cancer and was preparing for a major surgery where doctors would remove his bladder and rebuild a new one using part of his small intestine. This wasn't just a routine procedure. It was serious, life-altering, and terrifying. And yet, there was Karrueche, front and center. In the clip, she was holding back tears, speaking directly to the camera about everything that was going on. You could hear her voice shake as she talked about how scary the entire ordeal was. Not just for him, but for them. It wasn't his surgery. The way she said it, it was their surgery. It was giving major we energy. She wasn't just showing up for emotional support either. Karrueche was reportedly attending his doctor's appointments, checking in with his trainers, and sliding seamlessly into the role of full-time caregiver and partner. It was the kind of move that usually comes years into a relationship, not at the very start. So instead of a soft launch with subtle hints and blurry couple pics, they dove headfirst into the spotlight with hospital visits and a cancer diagnosis. One day, fans were wondering if they were a thing. The next, they were watching her hold his hand on the way to a life-or-death operation. And listen, some people see that as proof their bond is deep and genuine, but others, they see it as a little too much, too fast, and maybe even strategic, because the internet has no chill. The comments section lit up with people making jokes, saying things like, Deion Sanders pulled Karrueche with toes and some adult diapers. Brutal. Whether you see it as love or opportunism, one thing is for sure, the way this romance hit the public eye was far from ordinary. And if Tracey's shade was any indication, the backstory might be even messier than the front-row love story we're seeing now. He really is primetime for real. But watching that Deion Sanders video with Karrueche by his side, man, that threw the internet into a chokehold. It was so random that people couldn't stop replaying it. One fan even said, I was like, what the? And Antonio Brown, never one to stay quiet, jumped straight into the mess, posting, Karrueche baby, this man don't have a bladder or toes. What are you doing? Setting social media on fire all over again. But here's where things get even wilder. After Deion's surgery, reports say he has been dealing with incontinence, which is actually pretty common after the type of operation he had. That meant yes, he's been using adult diapers. Totally normal for recovery, but still a lot for any partner to handle. And here's the spicy part. Word on the street is he didn't hire a nurse or a private caretaker. Nope. Instead, he allegedly has Karrueche right there, day in and day out, personally taking care of everything. From the doctor's appointments to the most intimate, behind-closed-doors moments, she's been the one handling his recovery like she's already locked in as Mrs. Sanders. And people are out here saying, "Girl, I hope you in the will, 'cause this is love on another level." Then came the interview that made everyone side-eye. Deion was asked point-blank about his situation with Karrueche. And instead of giving a straight answer, he pulled the oldest play in the book, pretending like he was having technical issues. Just poof, dodging the question entirely. Now fans are like, if she's doing all this for him behind the scenes, why won't he claim her in public? You'd think that would be the peak of the drama, right? Karrueche playing nurse, showing up to every doctor's visit, standing by him through a cancer battle, only for him to avoid even saying her name on camera. But nope, it turns out that was just the warm-up, because now Tracey Edmonds herself is sliding back into the spotlight, and she's not coming empty-handed. She is hinting that Karrueche didn't a tea just randomly pop up after her and Deion were done. She's strongly suggesting Karrueche got with him while they were still together. And according to Tracey's inner circle, the reason Karrueche kept everything so low-key in the beginning was because she didn't want the homewrecker label following her around. And then Tracey's best friend, Claudia Jordan, went full scorched earth mode in an interview, dumping even more gasoline on this fire. Claudia says Tracey had been suspicious of Karrueche for a while. She claims Tracey felt the energy shift, like Karrueche was just hovering a little too close to Deion, waiting for the exact moment to slide in. Her gut was telling her that something was going on, and she wanted answers. So Tracey did what a lot of women would do in that position. She went straight to the source. She pulled a woman-to-woman move and confronted Karrueche directly about whether there was anything happening between her and Deion. And here's the kicker. According to Claudia, Karrueche flat out denied everything. Looked Tracey right in the face and said there was nothing going on. But if what we're seeing now is any indication, somebody wasn't telling the whole truth, and the internet is already treating that denial like the ultimate betrayal. She told Tracey straight to her face there was nothing happening, that she had nothing to worry about, that all these thoughts were just in her head. But now, as the truth unravels in real time, fans are looking back and realizing Tracey's gut wasn't just right. It was screaming the whole time. And now it's like everyone can finally see the picture. Because let's be real. Did Karrueche allegedly get involved with a man she knew was already taken, while he was dating someone who actually considered her a friend? Well, that's exactly where this story gets even uglier. See, Karrueche and Tracey weren't just industry cool. They actually had a relationship. Tracey had looked out for her. In fact, Tracey didn't just play nice in passing, she actively boosted Karrueche's career. She went out of her way to help get Karrueche cast in the BET series Games People Play, and even pushed behind the scenes to lock her in as a series regular. That's not just casual kindness, that's someone going to bat for you. So for Karrueche to allegedly turn around and slide in on Tracey's man, fans are calling it betrayal wrapped in a fake friendship, career favors, and straight-up audacity. But to be fair, Tracey and Deion's relationship wasn't exactly a fairy tale. They had their share of problems, and most of them boiled down to one thing. Deion couldn't keep it in his pants. Rumors swirled constantly about him stepping out with other women. And one name that kept popping up? Kiana Aviles, a fitness trainer who just happens to be 27 years younger than him. And Kiana wasn't the only one. According to multiple reports, Karrueche was also allegedly one of the women Deion was messing with while he was still engaged to Tracey. That's what really set this whole thing ablaze. The story goes, once Tracey found out Karrueche was in the mix, that was it. After everything she had already put up with, this was the ultimate betrayal. And she finally walked. When she officially announced the breakup, Tracey made it crystal clear it was her decision to end it. And she wasn't just vague about it either. She sent a message. She wrote, "I want to clarify that it was my decision to end the relationship. Despite any different narratives being presented, I've chosen to prioritize myself and my family moving forward towards a future where I am valued, treated with honesty, and free to embrace the happiness and respect I deserve." Now, not to victim blame, but a lot of people are saying Tracey might have seen this coming. Deion's track record? Far from clean. He's had a long-standing reputation for being a womanizer, and according to his second wife, Pilar Sanders, that reputation is well-earned. Pilar didn't hold back when talking about their marriage or their divorce. She accused Deion of being a chronic cheater and even dropped a bombshell, saying he allegedly hooked up with an 18-year-old while they were still married. She claimed the media was already sniffing around the scandal after catching him sending inappropriate messages to the teenager. And here's where it gets even more ruthless. According to Pilar, Deion's move to control the damage was to leak news of their divorce himself before the cheating story could blow up. And the worst part? She says she didn't even know they were divorcing until she saw it in the media with everyone else. She didn't know their marriage was in trouble. She didn't know it was ending. She says she was completely blindsided by a man she thought she still had a life with. And now, with Tracey allegedly getting her own blindsiding moment, the internet can't help but draw the parallels. From Pilar to Tracey, some fans are saying history didn't just repeat itself. It walked in the room wearing the same suit and smiled for the cameras. So when you really put all the pieces together, it starts to paint a way clearer picture of exactly who Tracey was dealing with all along. In that interview, Pilar didn't just spill tea, she poured the whole kettle. The way she told it, Deion wasn't just cheating. He was managing the cheating, orchestrating it, flipping the entire narrative to protect himself. Pilar recalled finding out that a major media outlet was about to drop a bombshell about him cheating with an 18-year-old girl. He told her, "None of this is true." But by that point, a smaller Black-owned outlet had already broken the story and backed it up with proof. But according to Pilar, Deion's response wasn't to deny or fight it. It was to distract the world. He allegedly told her, "It doesn't matter because we're getting a divorce anyway." Then, as if to make sure it hit hard, the divorce news just magically appeared on Facebook. Pilar says she didn't even know a divorce was happening until she saw it there, alongside everyone else. That's when it clicked for her. In her words, "Our divorce was the only story that could trump the story of him cheating with an 18-year-old. And in her eyes, he used it strategically to bury the scandal." And that was just the opening act. According to Pilar, once the news broke, Deion allegedly went on a petty and cruel campaign to force her out of their home. She claims he moved her belongings into the garage, brought strangers, kids included, into the house to help her pack, and pulled every low blow you could think of. She described it as calculated chaos, the kind of breakup where every move was meant to humiliate her. So yes, Deion was messy with Pilar, no doubt about it. And after everything she says she endured, it's not surprising she still has deep resentment toward him. But here's where the pot really boils over. Because according to Pilar, Tracey Edmonds wasn't just some later fiancé who walked into Deion's life after the dust settled. No. Pilar claims Tracey was already in the picture, allegedly one of the women Deion was cheating with while they were still married. Yes, you heard that right. This isn't just drama, it's one of those you lose 'em how you get 'em situations. Pilar even named Tracey in a lawsuit. Court documents show Pilar accused Deion of cheating with multiple women, and she filed paperwork to depose them in court. One of the names listed? Tracey Edmonds. That means if Pilar's claims hold any weight, Tracey may have been the other woman once upon a time, which turns today's situation into a full-blown, karma-flavored plot twist. Of course, Tracey has always denied it. She didn't stay silent when those accusations surfaced. In her statement, she said, "I'm shocked to learn that Pilar Sanders is trying to drag me and my employees through her prenuptial dispute. I cannot understand why she continues to create public issues out of her private life and feel sorry for their children." But here's the thing. Denial or not, Tracey's name is still in those legal documents. And for a lot of people, that's enough to connect the dots. Because now, years later, Karrueche is being accused of doing to Tracey what Tracey was once accused of doing to Pilar. The circle doesn't just close, it snaps shut. And Pilar? She's never backed down from her claims. She stood by them for over a decade. Which is exactly why some people are finding it a little hard to feel sorry for Tracey now that she's playing the victim card. As the old saying goes, what goes around comes back around. And here's the kicker. Word in the insider circle is that Tracey isn't just sitting back watching the drama play out. Sources claim she's been moving chess pieces behind the scenes, allegedly using her best friend Claudia Jordan to throw shade at Karrueche publicly. The whispers say Tracey has been feeding Claudia the right lines, the right timing, and the right platforms to make sure the shots land without Tracey having to fire them herself. If that's true, then this isn't just a messy love triangle anymore. It's a generational chain of betrayal, revenge, and payback, where the players change, but the game stays exactly the same. so she doesn't have to step into the line of fire and risk getting dragged for hypocrisy herself. Because let's be real, if people still believe she once played the exact same role in Pilar's marriage, then calling Karrueche a homewrecker would be a PR disaster. But according to insiders close to Tracey, this isn't just about betrayal, it's about motive. Sources say Tracey is convinced Karrueche's entire relationship with Deion is nothing but a money move. In her words, there's no love in Karrueche's eyes, just dollar signs. Tracey allegedly believes the only reason Karrueche is sticking around, playing Florence Nightingale, and parading as the perfect partner is to gain Deion's trust, long enough to convince him to marry her without a prenup. And if that happens, Karrueche could walk away with a massive chunk of Primetime's fortune. Even if there is a prenup, Tracey thinks Karrueche's playing the long game. Because let's be honest, prenups can be challenged, especially if you've got a health crisis in the mix, emotional leverage, and a public image of loyalty and devotion. From Tracey's point of view, this isn't some epic love story. It's a setup. And when you break it down, it's not hard to see why she feels that way, especially when you look at Karrueche's dating history. Over the years, she's been linked to a laundry list of high-profile, high-net-worth men: Chris Brown, John Wall, Memphis Depay, Ray J, Victor Cruz, and even Quavo. And what do they all have in common? Big checks. But the one that really makes fans raise their eyebrows is her situation with Quavo, because it sounds eerily similar to what's going down now. Reports claim Karrueche was actually friends with Quavo's then-girlfriend Saweetie, and still allegedly slid into a relationship with him while he and Saweetie were still together. That same be cool with the woman, then go for her man pattern is exactly what Tracey says happened between her and Karrueche with Deion. Now fans are connecting the dots, pointing out how Karrueche always seems to target men with serious money, and how these friendship flip situations keep popping up in her story. Tracey's take? None of it is coincidence. She's convinced Karrueche is running the same playbook she's run before: get close, gain trust, lock them down, and cash out. And now that Tracey's finally fired her first public shot, all eyes are on Karrueche. Will she clap back? Will she ignore it? Or is she too busy playing house with Deion to care? One thing's for sure, Tracey's not the type to start talking unless she wants to shake the room, and the fact that she's choosing to throw shade now after staying silent for months says a lot about how deep this cut really is. If Karrueche really got with Deion before he ended things with Tracey, then we're not just talking about messy, we're talking betrayal with receipts waiting to be dropped. Because in this game, one leaked text, one old DM, or one stray photo could blow this thing wide open. And if what we've seen so far is just the soft warning, then whatever Tracey has next could make this the scandal of the year. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. These friendships, they ain't loyal. These relationships, they ain't safe. And this drama, it's nowhere near over. Because in Hollywood, when the shade gets personal, the tea gets nuclear.